Hey guys, Brian here again, bringing another video to you. We're a few days late on this one. I was out of town. Want to clear up a couple things real quick. This YouTube channel, and what I'm doing with it, posting these videos like this. It's not a self-help thing, and I'm not some kind of self-help guru or any of that kind of thing, or counselor, or none of that stuff. I'm just people ask me all the time what I think about stuff, and people always tell me all the time, that I should write a book or this or that with my thoughts, and so I'm just doing these videos here just to tell people a little bit about what I think and what I've experienced. And if that's helpful to some of you, that's really cool. And if not, maybe tune in next week for another video, and you'll find something that is helpful then. But that's really all this is just a chance for me to share my thoughts out loud. As most of you know, I live out loud, and this is just kind of an extension of that. We've spent the last 18 months or whatever under this pandemic with COVID, and we've had to do some lockdown and that kind of stuff. And I got stuck in a lot of morbid reflection on my living room couch. I was doing a grief journey. My wife had passed away, and there were a lot of things over the course of the last 7 or 8 years of my life and and her life that we went through and whatever. And I talked about that in last week's video, a video called Things That Matter. And it seemed to all come to this final resting place here of me sitting in morbid reflection, stuck on the couch alone in isolation during COVID shutdown. And life was getting pretty grim, and it just seemed like everything I see online, anything that I see on the news or any other kind of media, it was just a lot of negativity. Paints this world in a really dark place, and had me second guessing at times whether any of it's worth it all or not, And I'm the type that I do a lot of self-reflection, and when I see that kind of thinking creeping up, I'm thinking, that's not good. There's something wrong with my thinking there, and what's going on with me. And so I've got to find a way to pull out of that and turn that around. And I took a trip all last November to Pacifica, and I was in a real grief spot. It was the 1-year anniversary of Kimmy's death. And I just kind of had this epiphany with me and her and God, and it came to me that I needed to come home and make a life for myself. And so that's what I've tried to do since then. And as a lot of you know, I've taken some trips. I've been trying to re-engage with my music and my creative side and my writing. And I've gotten more involved in a lot of things that I had kind of strayed away from. But this spring, late spring, early summer, I embarked on an idea that I wanted to go from one end of America to the other. And I just wanted to kind of check things out, and so I've done that. I've been to Maui, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Sacramento. I've been to Minneapolis, North Dakota of all places, and as you know, just recently Boston and New York and Philadelphia, and been to all those places. And I want to point out that there is a lot of stuff going on in this world right now that's hard to take. There's a lot of stuff in all of your daily lives that we can view as negative or corrupt or puts people at a disadvantage. And there's a lot of groups against other groups, and It seems like a dog-eat-dog world out there. And that's all there for us to see about and hear about on a day-to-day basis. But I want to point out to you that if you make the decision to look for something else, there's something else that's out there in addition to all that stuff. And what I found, I told myself that I was going to go to these places and I was just going to look for good things. I was going to look for positive things. I was going to look for bright spots. Where can I find God in my day? That kind of stuff. I know all the negative stuff exists. I can pull that up anytime I want. But I just want to see if I can see the beauty in this all. Maurice White, founder of Earth, Wind, and Fire, said a long time ago in a song that he wrote that, if there ain't no beauty, you got to create some beauty. And so I just wanted to set out and see that if I could do that. And here's what I found. When I was in Lahaina, Maui, when I was in Los Angeles, a couple times I've been to Los Angeles, 3 times as a matter of fact in the last 60 days. I've been to San Francisco several times. Then of course Minneapolis and a couple small towns in Minnesota and North Dakota, and Boston and New York. Here's what I found, man, is people are out and about, people are doing stuff, and you got people of all colors, people of all walks of life, all shapes, colors, and sizes, and genders and identities and whatever, and people are out there having fun. And people are out there being polite, and they're helping one another, and they're sharing with one another, and they're commencing in harmonious love. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. I bought a ukulele when I was in Hawaii, and the lady that helped me with that and the people in the store were just fantastic people. And when we walked along the waterfront there in Lahaina, just a lot of people bustling about, and they were friendly and they were helpful, willing to take some pictures and that kind of thing, and point out the good places to eat. It's just really cool. Same thing in Minneapolis when I went to Paisley Park where Prince lived. The people there were just helpful. The Lyft driver that got me there, the people in the airport, it was all really had to be well timed because I had to get back on a plane, and everybody was just on this mission to help Brian get to Paisley Park, it seemed like, and it all just came together, and it was just through the goodness of other people. And same thing when I was further the other side of Minnesota visiting my mom, and I got to visit the junk dealer that owns the property next to hers, and she introduced me to him, and just a nice guy, and he's helpful, and he's looking after my mom and just making sure that she's doing all right. And I thought, man, what a cool world to just have somebody like that, looking after her. And I've just spent the last week in Boston and New York, and my gosh, I got to tell you, the people there, they are alive. They're well. The music scene is going. The nightlife is going. Boston is just hustle bustle. The culture there is cool. Boston Commons, just a beautiful, beautiful place. And there's just people there sightseeing and taking pictures and smiling and happy. Times Square down in New York, just alive and well, just really, really going at it, and just a beautiful, beautiful thing. All the signs and the neon signs and the lights. Went to Broadway Jazz Club, and saw a great show there. This is a beautiful place that we live, and this is a beautiful time in spite of all of what we see going on around us. If we just choose to look for some beauty. I was in Boston Commons, and I went to buy this cap for my grandson, whom I love dearly. He's just a little boy, 6 years old, and the guy who's running the stand there on the sidewalk, he speaks broken English, and he wanted to give me this cap because his dad, who died last year, he also only had one arm, and this guy was telling me that I reminded him of his dad, and he wanted me to have this cap as a gift. And he couldn't speak English real well, but it wasn't necessary because the love between us was language enough. And it was just a beautiful thing, and I was overcome by it. I had to go sit down for a little while, and I even posted about it on social media. And it's just, it's all in what you look for, people. It's all in what you got your eye on. Keep your eye on the prize. Look for the good things. Look for the beauty out there. There's plenty of negative stuff out there that's going to make this world hard to deal with. But my gosh, there's plenty of good things too. I got to go on this wonderful trip, several trips, and I got to see the beauty of the people and this country that I live in and stuff. And there's a good side to this too. There's a good side to everything if you're willing to look for it. And that's how it has to be for me. My life has been very, very hard in recent years, and if I'm going to live again and if I'm going to find my way through this, I have to look for the good and I have to focus on the beauty. I get off that airplane. Actually, I was in San Francisco and I had to drive from San Francisco back to Sacramento, and I did that early this morning. And I walk in the door and there's my, little 8-month-old granddaughter, and she's just all bright smiles, happy to see her papa is home. And it's just, it's a wonderful world. It's a wonderful life. And I hope that you all can have the courage, because it takes courage to look for the light, to look for the love, to look for the good, because it's out there. And if you do, it'll do something up here for you. It changes you, and it just makes you feel lighter, makes you feel a little brighter. And when you're in that kind of a mindset, it enables you to be more helpful to others and to spread and share that with others. And so that's kind of my thoughts for this week. I've gotten some suggestions from some of you guys about some topics, and I'm going to get to those. That's important stuff, and I look forward to sharing my thoughts on some of your guys' suggestions. And so that's my thoughts for this week, and hopefully we'll talk again soon. Thanks for tuning in.